Yeah, some of my older songs.
Is it? Hey! I'm watching myself live. I just came on for a little while. I just finished doing church on Facebook. And the video will be on here soon. I just did some prophecy and some teaching and praying for people. So that's why I'm putting it up on here. So y'all can at least hear the teacher, because a lot of y'all told me last time that y'all got a lot of deliverance from that live. And it's like, I think, how many people done looked at it? That's not church. Where's my church at? Oh, I uploaded it. Okay, wait. I'm trying to see how many of y'all looked at my church. Oh, here it is. How many of y'all watched it? Hold up. 941 people watched it from last week when I did church. And a lot of y'all Facebook me, and if you have my email or my phone number, you let me know how much deliverance you got. All right? So then you could watch the one that's uploading now. Okay? And you're gonna get a lot of deliverance. I talked about some stuff I never even spoke to y'all. It been inside of me, and Daddy told me to let it out when I was talking to pretty old Shauna and Jocelyn. A lot of stuff came out. All right. I even called out some names of workers who are going to be working with me in the ministry God had gave me. All right. So let me go on here to my text so I could get y'all. Because I was going to do it on Facebook, but the Lord told me to do it separate. Let's see. All right. How many of y'all remember last year I told you I saw United Airlines having problems? I saw airlines having problems. If you go on my prophecy book, Past, Present, and Future on Barnes and Nobles, it's in there where the airlines are going to crash, and we're only going to have 3 major airlines eventually. Well, and I just told y'all I had saw a plane with 200 or more people crashing. So in America, so that's going to happen, and it's also going to be one abroad. I'm not sure, but I saw Turkey Airlines. I don't know if it's called. I know it's got Turkish or Turkish Airlines. One of their planes are going to crash too. I just recently saw that one, right? But it's going to be one here, 200 or more. How many with the Turkey plane, I don't know, but I know it's going to be one of their bigger planes. And then we're going to be seeing smaller planes crash again, right? So the Lord said that United, Southwest, and what was it Delta? I don't think it was Delta. It was United, Southwest. Well, Southwest is going to go bankrupt. Somebody's going to come in and acquire Southwest. They're going to go bankrupt. And somebody's going to acquire them. I don't know if it's going to be Delta or who it is, but Southwest is going to be no more very, very soon. Right? Just like I saw JetBlue. How many of y'all remember I told y'all about JetBlue? Remember JetBlue? I told y'all the Lord said they were going to go bankrupt. How many of y'all remember that? And they gone. They gone. Southwest is next. But I kept saying acquisition, the word acquisition, and usually acquisition means to acquire. So I think they may be bailed out, but somebody's going to acquire them, right? And then United Airlines, I didn't see them totally going out of business, but I saw them having great financial difficulties. So it's a chance that they could go out of business too, but I didn't really see them go out of business like Southwest. So there's a chance United may go out, and there's a chance that they may not. Did you do a prophecy about the one that went down? Yeah, and then something else coming to DC. I saw explosion in DC. I told y'all that was it Thursday? Right? I think it was Thursday, or was it Monday? One of them. Yeah, so stuff is good. Devontae. Your mama's sweet. He have such a sweet mama. I was talking to his mama on Facebook. I like to talk to the mamas. All right, and the airline industry as a whole is gonna have problems as well, right? And I kept seeing bailouts, like how they bailed out the banks, right? Takeovers and bankruptcy, the Lord told me. There's something that's coming that's really, really bad destruction for the coastal cities. Quite a few coastal cities. Water is going to wash them away if these people don't start praying and repenting. There's something that's coming that's going to wipe out cities in the coastal areas of different states. How many states, I don't know. Pass on, drunk. Okay, drive safely now. I don't know how many states included in this. I heard 10. That's what I heard. 10. So they're going to be cities and states that's in each other's area, and the water is just going to like evaporate these cities. It's going to be really bad. And I asked God, was it any way possible that this could be stopped? He said repentance and prayer. So we need, because I don't know what coastal cities it is. All I saw was 10. So y'all could look up all the coastal cities and coastal, in every state and see where the coastal cities is if you want to. Or just pray and ask God for mercy and pray that God puts people in these people's lives where they can repent and get right with him before it's too late. Because he said about 10 different states and their coastal areas. So these must be states that are like around each other. You know what I mean? Where this thing could go from there to there to there. Point. Oh yeah, y'all got a big old earthquake coming. I talked about that before. Y'all earthquake gonna be so big, it's gonna be an exodus in California. People gonna be leaving, going to surrounding areas. I think it was, I said it was Arizona, Texas, Vegas. Y'all gonna be doing a great exodus when this earthquake comes. This earthquake gonna be so bad, it's gonna split California in half. Seriously. When is it coming? I don't know. And I kept seeing like an 8.7, 8.8. I seriously did. I've been telling y'all this for like since, well, a lot of earthquakes y'all had. I saw 7 point this, 7 point that, and it came. I saw 6 point this, and it came. But I've been telling you about the big one since 2017. All right. So pray for states that have we all have coastal cities, but just pray for every state on the map that God will have mercy and that these people will come into repentance and get right. Because it's about 10 states, and they got to be in the surrounding areas of each other where this thing is going to go. Or maybe it'll go in the Gulf of Mexico and then skip and come somewhere in America. It could do that as well, Oh, okay. And it's funny somebody asked me about California, because he told me in here, he said, remind them about the big quake coming to many in California. In California, there will be a great exodus. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be going to surrounding states. Then the Lord said that Iran is about to give the USA much trouble. How many of y'all remember that vision I had in 2015? It's in my prophecy book where I saw all these silver I saw these iron gates around Iran, meaning they were going to get real strong and America was going to have a hard time getting to them. We're about to see Iran rise up, how, I don't know, and they're going to be giving America a hard time, right? They will give America trouble. Then there's riots, civil riots that's coming. Civil riots that's coming in the USA. To some places, not all places. It's not going to be like a worldwide thing here in America, but in some places. And I saw Washington as one of the places that will be having this civil unrest. As far as the other states and how many, I don't know. It could be 5, 10, 15 different states. I don't know. But it's going to be riots because people are hungry and they're tired of things that the government is doing. So they're just going to react. And the Lord said, stay out of these things. Remember I gave y'all a word a couple of years ago. God said, don't be in these riots. Don't be in these things. Don't be in these parades. Don't be in it because you could lose your life. And we have been seeing that. Right? But I know Washington is one of them. And there's going to be a more civil unrest around the White House. But I don't think it's going to be like how January 6th was. But it's going to be some kind of arrest. And there's going to be an attempt on Biden's life before he leaves that White House. They're saying Camilla might be replacing him. Remember the vision I had before he even became president? I saw him being president, and then I saw her being president, and I saw Obama helping her. And they're saying that they thinking about replacing him with her because he getting old, he falling and stuff. So we'll see. But there's going to be an attempt on his life. I think this FedEx truck tried to run into the White House, and then they caught this little plane. But somebody's going to attempt to kill him. Attempt to. Right? But I seen him in the coffin like 3 times. But sometimes when you see a person in the coffin, it don't mean they actually gonna die. It could just be death to their career and stuff like that. So we'll see, right? So the Lord said, pray against depopulation plans of the enemy. The enemy is planning on depopulating billions. Billions, anywhere from 1 to 3 billion people. Now they say we have 8 billion people, but we might have almost 9 billion because we got a lot of undocumented immigrants from all kinds of countries. And then you got people that don't do the census, right? So you might have 8.5 billion or 9 billion people. So Daddy says the enemy wants to kill anywhere from 1 to 3 billion people. That's a lot of people. So say we only have 8 billion. And it's 3 billion. That's 5 billion. So God said we gotta pray because they already done killed off almost 10 million people worldwide. The Lord said that, and a couple of million right here in America with the COVID and all this other stuff that's coming, right? And they plan on bringing the virus. And I told y'all this 2 years ago. And he told me to remind y'all the enemy planned on bringing another virus that was supposed to be worse than COVID. And I warned y'all about the COVID virus. I didn't know it was going to be called COVID, but I warned y'all about it in November 2019. And I know a lot of y'all remember it because you told me, and it's in my prophecy book, that it was going to start in China and kill a lot of people. It's right there in my prophecy book. I got a screenshot of it in my communities tab, so go look for it. So I'm telling you again, that the enemy's going to try and bring another virus, and it's supposed to be, God said it's more potent than COVID, and the lockdown would be way worse than COVID. Way worse than COVID. So he said, we have to start praying. Just like I told y'all to pray back then. And I told y'all that God said that virus back then in 2019, which we know now is the COVID, could not be stopped. But if we prayed, not as many would be killed. He said millions would be killed, but it would have been double that. So I think they said 3 million in America, or 2 million or 1 million died in America from it. Whereas if we didn't pray, it might have been 3, 4, 5 million in America. Instead of it being 10 million worldwide, it might have been 25 million worldwide. So now God is not saying that it cannot be stopped. He's saying it can be stopped, but we have to pray that people come into repentance and that people get right with him. That's the only way. If not, guys, this stuff is coming. It's coming. So then I asked him, I'm like, well, if it come, what we supposed to do, Daddy? And he said, Didn't I take care of you doing the COV, as y'all call it? I said, yeah. He said, weren't you still able to go out and go to the store and then catch nothing? I said, yeah. He said, well, that's how it's going to be again. And so if it comes because people won't repent and stuff, God said he's going to take care of us. And then he said he's going to be moving a lot of us to other states, other cities, other places, because there's a lot of y'all that's waiting on God to move y'all, like me. So the places, because I'm going back home. So the places that he gonna move us, he said the environment won't be as bad. It will be bad, but not as bad, right? And that's how it was with COVID. Some states weren't bad like others, right? And some countries like Norwegian, what was the other country? Netherlands, they ain't even get the COV. They ain't get it. And if they did, you can count on your fingers how many. So he's going to be moving us to states, towns, like even down here, some parts of towns got it worse than others. You know what I mean? So he's going to be moving people to different states, towns, cities, where it's not going to be as bad for us. God is good, right? He's very, very good, right? So make sure y'all stay away from the riots. I know one is in Washington. I don't know where the rest of them is. And pray against depopulation, because the enemy plans on killing 1 billion to 3 billion people. Nobody's protected. All his children that work for him, the evil practitioners, ain't none of them protected, because some of them died through the COV. So ain't none of them protected. Everybody fair game to the devil. They starting to depopulate. Remember I told you in 2019, they were going to try and bring the book of Revelations to pass. And God said it was going to seem like it was happening. But in the end, he was going to stop them. Man, all this stuff that's been happening look like it's coming straight out the Bible, the book of Revelations. Look like, man, I'm telling you, the zombie dreams I had, they got a drug out there now. People turn into zombies. Oh, my goodness, right? So, and it seems like it's bringing Revelations to pass, but God said in the end he was going to stop it. So what's one of the main things they want to do? They want to depopulate people. Because the less people on the planet, the more they think they can handle. So 1 billion by itself is too much. But 1 to 3 billion, y'all better start praying, man. And talk to your families. Get your families right. Tell them, look, the devil wants to depopulate 1 billion to 3 billion people. He don't care who you is, whether you work for him or not. He don't care. You better tell your families they better get right. They better start repenting to God. Give up their little nasty, stinky lives. And live for God. Start reading that word. Pay attention. Because they're going to try it. And another virus, they're going to try and bring another virus. So we got to pray that virus don't come. And if it come, it don't be as bad as they trying to make it be, like we prayed for COV. And that wasn't, it was bad, but not as bad as they really wanted it to be. You know what I mean? And they also trying to starve, they want to starve us to the enemy. That's why God said all these farms and cows and chickens is burning up and you can't get no feed because they trying to make this food. They want to make food, Daddy said. They want to make food and make us eat it. Now, he gave me this in the Bible. He said, Rosalind, you know in the Bible it says that in end times that I was going to speed up the time so that the very elect could be saved. And he told me a long time ago what that means. Because so many human beings were not going to be humans anymore. They were going to turn into demons and beasts because of stuff that's being juicy in them and food. Stuff being put in the food. So the enemy is trying to bring the book of Revelation to pass. So what are they doing? They putting juicy juice and stuff. They putting poison in the food. You know, they putting all kinds of stuff in the food. And people getting stomach cancer, liver failure, kidney failure, brain damage. Mental health is through the roof. They don't even have enough people to help with mental health. I told y'all last year and the year before, God said suicide was going to be rampant. And it is. Because the stuff that's going in that food and people ain't praying and they eating any old place and they ain't praying over their food, it's affecting them. And the Lord said, why you think they killing each other, Rosalind? Because they beasts. They are no longer humans from drinking the juicy juice I know what Jesus just said. And certain stuff they putting in the food. Bill Gates even made something called the appeal. They're going to be putting it on food, on vegetables and stuff. Man, if you look that stuff up and you see the stuff and the sickness that it causes, and it only supposedly got 3 ingredients in it. I looked it up, and the stuff it got in there, I'm like, Daddy, if I got to get me some lemon seeds and dig some dirt right out there in my backyard and grow me some lemons and limes or whatever, I'm going to do it. Or I'm going to go to a farm, because there's plenty of farms down here. I'm going to go to a farm. I ain't buying nothing out the grocery store if it got that word APEEL on it. Right? And the Lord told me, remember I told y'all that the Lord said Bill Gates was going to get into the food industry and not to trust anything that comes from him? We seeing it happen. We seeing it happen. So we got to pray. Especially if the enemy trying to take billions, 1 to 3 billion. That's a lot. He don't care who you is, whether you work for him or not. He don't care. Okay, there's about to be a reset on this earth. Lots of positions will open up spiritually and physically, because many will be overtaken and removed out of their positions, and many of God's children and the ones to come will be placed in these positions. So we about to see ministers, evangelists, apostles, bishops, prophets, any type of workers in the church be removed, and God is going to be putting new people in the career, as far as in the world. People are going to be losing their jobs, big time jobs, managers, corporate America, wherever. And Daddy's going to be putting his people in them and the ones to come. All I kept hearing him say, transferring the wealth of the wicked to the righteous. See, it ain't just about getting money or crypto or stock or whatever the case is, investments. It's also resets and career changes. This is going to happen, and we're going to start seeing it real soon, and it's going to last for a minute. So God even told me some of his children are going to be getting jobs that they not even qualified for. Not even qualified for, never even went to school for it, never even did it. But because of the wisdom that he's going to give his children, they're going to be able to do it. And they're going to have favor. And they're going to get these jobs, these career changes, and these leadership roles in the churches. He's about to change them. Big reset coming. And all I heard him say was the wealth of the wicked transferred to the righteous. So it ain't just money. It's things of substance that he's going to be doing. He even said he's going to be replacing kings in the spirit realm. So a big pastor like T.D. Jakes, you could consider him a king in the spirit realm, but we know what he's working with, right? So he can be removed and replaced, right? He even said he was going to be shutting down churches and then giving them to one of his righteous ones. And then the market crash that's coming, the real estate crash, I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming. He says stuff going to be on sale. Churches, buildings, and houses. I'm like, woohoo, I'll be glad when that come, Daddy. Well, I'm hoping to get my house before then. Right? So the Lord also said that, hold on. For all of you who waiting on the wealth transfer from wherever y'all gonna get y'all money from, the Lord said that y'all need to go to him and ask him to help you find and lead you to good accountants or people who is good with money, because some of y'all gonna have so much money you ain't gonna be able to count it yourself or handle it. Right? And he said also ask him who are the people around you that you could trust. Right? He also said many of you want businesses. Y'all need to be praying to him and asking him to send you people you could trust to work for you. If you have a ministry, ask him to show you who some of your followers are, or if you don't have any, but show you or lead you to the ones that you could trust in ministry with your money, people who won't betray you, none of that. And because he told me to ask him, and he gave me people, he gave me half the list. He's going to give me the other half later, right? and write them down or put them in your phone, text it in your phone so you won't forget it, whoever names he give you or however. But start looking up accountants that handle money. You know, you don't got to call them. Just look some up, get some names, write them down, give them to God, and let them go for broke. And I kept hearing trust brokers. I don't know if they have trust brokers. I know they got stock brokers, but if anybody knows, do they have trust brokers? God said look up trust brokers and look up trust accounts. Oh, they do got trust broker. Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay. And look and learn, and I've been telling y'all this for a year, and learn about trust accounts. I know Fidelity has good ones, and what's that other one? Chase has them. Mostly all the banks, but Chase is pretty good with that. You can also learn how to open up an international trust. Because the LLCs are good, but if somebody try to sue you and you got all your stuff under the LLC, that could be in jeopardy, you know? So put in stuff like in a trustee account. I'm not a financial advisor, no guru. I'm just telling you what God said to do. So look stuff up. And I follow people who know about that stuff. So Google and the YouTube to learn about trust accounts, to learn about international trust accounts. They call some of these dummy corporations, which are legal, that you could invest your money in. You know, not financial advice. I'm just telling you the kind of stuff they have on YouTube, right? And you can learn right here from YouTube or from Google, you know. And it was some other stuff. I wrote it so fast I can't understand my writing. Oh, he gave me this 2 weeks ago. I forgot. So calamity is coming, y'all, to different parts of the world. So God said, pray for survivors. Calamity is coming in different parts of the world, and God said, pray for survivors. Pray that as many people can survive these calamities to be given a second chance. He said mostly around the world. I mean, there's stuff that's coming here too, but nothing like around the world. It's like all those stuff is coming here. We're kind of being spared from a lot of stuff around the world because there's still a bunch of Christians here. It's like 2 billion something, you know, and even though all of them ain't, probably half of them ain't right, but there's half that is, right? And we praying, right? But stuff is gonna come here, but it's gonna be mostly around the world. So pray for these foreign lands to us, right? And then the Lord said, the USA is still under my grace. We have 6.5 years left before God allows war to come to our shore. So we are still under his grace. But y'all remember 2.5 years ago or 3 years ago, he gave me, 9 years, and then another prophet, but he had said it before me, right? And I was honest and told y'all that I know a prophet that said it before me, but God told me the same thing. But now he's telling me we only have 6.5 years left before war comes to our shore. He's holding back war from us. There are countries right now having meetings, getting together behind America's back. See, I mean, America is trying to collapse us and self-destruct us, and they're having a hard time doing it because God's not letting it. But there's still a lot of secrets that America don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? And God said they having meetings, other countries, finding ways to try and get at us. Remember that meeting I had about Russia? And I saw Vice President Biden, but now he's president. And I saw one of the Bushes, I think it was the younger Bush. And I saw Obama, but I couldn't figure out who the other leaders were. And they was trying to figure out how to collapse us from the inside out. And then Putin came and he said, let's take their legs off, because their legs are their financial structure. How many of y'all remember that vision? How many of y'all remember that? And we're seeing it. We're seeing it. It's happening. 124 billion went over into that war. It's happening, right? And they tried to collapse us, but they couldn't do it because God is intervening for us, right? And now they're trying to take away the crypto, you know, and God is even intervening in that. because they trying to stop that wealth transfer, and because the wealth transfer is all kinds of things, but crypto and the stock, not financial advice, is part of it too, and they trying to stop it because they know something big is coming. They know a bull run is coming. It's going to last anywhere from 6 weeks or a little over, and it's coming. And when it comes, a lot of people are going to get their money and run. Some people just going to cash out and don't even look back at crypto. And they know it. And they don't want you people. And you people in stocks and other investments, because there's other investments. They know when you get the money, you're going to run. And you ain't, some of y'all ain't going to look back. Some of y'all just going to get your money and be fed up with the market, period. And they know it. So like crypto.com, for instance, they're not going to be working with institutions no more, but they said crypto.com and 2 other platforms for the retailers is going to remain because they got all their ducks in one socket. Coinbase is an American country, so it's not too much they could do with Coinbase. They tried to sue them twice already. They was able to freeze Binance because Binance, although they have Binance.com in America, they're still an international corporation. So they were able to freeze their assets, and the banks shut their accounts down in America. Because like I told you guys, said it was the American part was going to be affected. It would only be a little small part of him in America, and they couldn't touch the international. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that, right? So it's making the market tank, people getting scared. And see, that's what they want. They want people to get scared and withdraw all their money. Now, they made Solana, ADA, a coin called Atom, what was it, Polkadot, and another one. So now Robinhood, they tanked the market yesterday. Because they sent me an email, because I had a little bit of Solana, that by June 27th, they taking that ADA, Cardano. It was like 5 of them. They are no longer going to be listing them because like they did XRP, it's a security. So everybody started tanking. I mean, taking the market, right? So Coinbase probably will be next, taking off Cardano and ADA, Polkadot, right? And all the other exchanges, KuCoins, eventually they're going to be taking them off too. Because they're like a security now, so they can't be traded like XRP, right? And look how long it took for XRP, 3-4 years. How long it will take with these other coins could be 3 to 4 years again before these coins. But you notice they are the most popular coins. ADA, Cardano, the Atom, all these are popular coins because all you hear the stock people and crypto people talk about is ADA, Polkadot, Cardano, the Argo, whatever you call them. That's all you hear them talk about, right? So that's probably why they're making them securities. So when the market goes back up, nobody can collect on them because all of the exchanges, one by one, are going to delist them. So you better hope it start going up before all of these chains start to delist them. And it's not financial advice. This is truth. This stuff is in the news, And I heard Brother Johnny say they're doing it because they know XRP is going to win the case. So they mad because they can't get the XRP. So now they going after all these other coins. And then I heard him and another stock professional, was it Stock Up with Josh? Uncle Larry, one of them said that Bitcoin has a halving, and I'm trying to learn about halving. That Bitcoin has a halving every 4 years, and it can happen the year before, which is this year, 2023, or it can happen on the 4th year, which is 2024. So when Bitcoin, from what I learned from them, not financial advice, just saying, when Bitcoin has a halving, the market explodes. Like how we had those bull runs in 2021. 2021 was a good year. Right? Well, good year, right? So it can happen this year or next year. And when it happens, it runs the market up expeditiously, right? So if they can get all of these big coins like ADA and all of them delisted, you ain't gonna make no money off of them, right? And if they can crash the market like they're doing, because some of these coins are almost at zero. Some of them are like almost a penny. I've never seen that in my life since I've been it sure is. This is rock bottom, Rosalind. I'm like, so this is the rock bottom they've been talking about. Because, you know, for like a year and a half, they've been talking about this rock bottom. I'm like, what rock bottom? The doggone coins is already at rock bottom. Nah, this right here, what we going through is rock bottom, baby. Because the Lord said we at rock bottom. And they might could go a little lower before it gets better. I ain't never seen like that $30,000 coin, which is called farm something, $21. What? Then it was another coin, was $90,000, Yarn Finance. It's like 4,000 and something. What? Look at Bitcoin, 25,000. It was 62,000. What? Some coins was like 2,000-3,000. They like $20. What? Look at Mines of Delilah, 11 cent. Kings of Lead, 50 cent. What? And I'm like, Daddy, I done put all the money that I could put in coins. I said, Daddy, I can't get none of these coins. I just got to pass this up. I said I should have waited because I'm thinking that we was going to have well, we did have a little bull run and we made a little money, but I was thinking we was going to have a big bull run by now because I kept seeing them in my visions, right? But if I knew it was going to get this bad, I'd have held my money. I like, Daddy, I can't buy none of these coins. It is what it is. What I got, I got. And my stuff is down like 70%. Somebody told me their portfolio was down 90. Mine's like down 70%. I'm like, what? I never seen it like this. What's going on? And he told me, he said, do not fret. It's going to be okay. And he said, they just trying to flush everybody out. Trying to pull all of us out. So when that many bull run comes, won't that many people be in it? That's what God told me. And when the halving come, if it's this year or next year, because the guy said it could happen the year before or the year up, they don't want. See, the thing is, if we have money, right? If we're millionaires, 100,000aires, and some people could be billionaires, depending on what they have, right? Some could be hundredaires, depending on what they have. The enemy don't want us to have that. Because then we self-sufficient. We can take care of ourselves. We could build stuff. We could buy stuff. We could feed people. We could bring people to God. We could pay people mortgages off. We could do this. We could do that. And see, the enemy don't want that because he can't control you when you like that. He can't control you when you got money. He can't control you. But if he could take away the source where you could get the money and then try and make everything digital and tell you got to bring your cash to the bank, else ain't going to be no good. And they can shut your stuff off whenever they want to. And if you try to buy something, they can say, no, you can't have it. That's control. But if people got money, they can't do that. And then the enemy want that CDB, whatever coin, wants that to be the coin we use. That coin ain't gonna make us no money. They trying to leave us with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And Bitcoin is too expensive. Most people can't even get a Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Maybe you can get a piece of it. But you can't even get a bit because I've had pieces of Bitcoin. And there was one time I could have got one, but I had to use that money for something else 2 years ago. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. I thought about it, but God was like, no, Rosalind, you got to use that money for this and that. And then I'm like, okay, and help your kids. I helped one of my kids get a car and all this stuff, but I was seriously thinking about being that Bitcoin. And if I would have got it, I would have got $69,000. I'm like, see, Daddy. But Rosalind can't get no Bitcoin. If you want to donate a Bitcoin, some of you rich folks, because I know some of you rich folks listen to me, Brother Johnny. You want to give me a Bitcoin? Let me know. I'll send you the address because I still got $50 in my Bitcoin. I will send you the address and you send me some Bitcoin. And a matter of fact, I'm going to put my Bitcoin address under my links from now on. So if y'all want to send me some Bitcoin, you can send me some. Because the Bitcoin, they said it's supposed to be $1 million. I saw it go to $100,000. But they say $1 million before this year is out. So look, even if you got like a couple of thousand of it and it go to 100,000 or $1 million, you still good, man. You still good. So I'm putting my Bitcoin out here on Facebook, on here, so y'all can start sending me Bitcoin. Because I know y'all, some rich people follow me because Daddy told me. The Lord told me. Yes, he is. Fourth Bitcoin halving is happening for. Yeah, but the guy who I was listening to, he said a lot of times it happens the year before. So this is 2023. We got 5.5 months, 6 months before 2024. So he was saying a lot of times it happens just before the following year. So it could still happen this year. And I would think y'all would be happy about that. You know what I'm saying? It can happen this year into next year. Right? So America has 6.5 years left before war comes to our shore. So guys, we got to pray. And seriously, you can fast for America. You can fast for America. You can fast for the church. Heck, you can fast for other nations. You can include anything you want in the fast. God protects us. You know what I'm saying? Them big principalities can't come for you if you want to fast. And let me tell you something. When you fast for a country, your own country, and other countries, guess what? If you in ministry and you plan on traveling and preaching, guess what? Those countries, God will open those countries up to you to go and pray. Even some of them go and preach. Even some of the Muslim countries like India, Turkey, places like that. And plenty of Christians go to Turkey sometime. And a lot go to India. And a lot of people get saved over there. So these very countries you pray for and states, and you in ministry, God will expand your territory and send you, if not to all of the places you pray for, some of them or half of them. And the people will embrace you and they will honor you and bless you financially because God will touch them to do it because you were praying for them. I was like, wow, God. I was like, well, I've been praying for other places for years, over a decade. But he just recently told me that. And I'm like, wow, so that means some of the places that I've been praying for, I'm going to step my foot in them. What? And then when he said he had them bless you financially and honor you, that was dressing on the salad for me. Icing on the cake. Icing on the cake. Yes, he does. China. Well, I don't know who's coming. I don't know if it's China, Russia, Korea. I know in my prophecy book I got China, Russia, Korea, and Africa. And I always wondered, why would Africa come for us when we helped them? Look what's happening now. Relationships are strained. Didn't I tell you that was going to happen? They were going to start cutting us off. Look, they mad over there because they trying to put that, you know what, on them over there. You know, you can't say certain things on here no more. They trying to put the you know what on them over there and sanctions. And Africa like, yo, we don't need you. You know what I mean? So, because American dollar is strong everywhere. And like Africa, they have a lot of gold. So technically, they could use the gold that they got to back their currency. Just like China has more gold than anybody except Africa. That's why the yuan is so up there now, but it's not big enough to be number one yet. UK has a lot of gold and America has a lot of gold. See, you need gold and gold-backed standards for your money to be worth anything, right? So Africa, all they got to do is just start using their gold. They got a lot of it. They got mines over there. Did y'all know back in the day? Let me give y'all a little history before I leave. Did y'all know back in the day that Africa used to feed the entire world? See, that's why black folks, white folks, Spanish, all of y'all need to start reading. Did you know that Africa fed the entire continent? Did you know Rome used to get their wheat from Africa? Bumper Ukraine. Oh, we can't get no wheat because Ukraine is in. Go to Africa. Rome used to get their wheat from Africa. What? Africa. That's right. Black Africa. Brown Africa. This skin tone and darker or lighter fed the whole continent. Until they got in the war with the Quakenoids that had guns. They ain't had guns and, things changed. Do you know Spain, Queen Elizabeth, the old Queen Elizabeth way back in the day, 16th century, used to send her ships to get their spices. What? God have mercy. Do you know she used to send her ships to America to deal with the black, brown, indigenous Indians and indigenous people and get spices right from here? Did you know that? Who knew that? Let me see who been reading like me. Who knew that? Who knew that? Let me see. Did anybody know that? I want to see how educated people. I want to see if anybody been reading. Nobody knew that, huh? What? You telling me all you people on here, none of y'all knew this? That's why y'all need to read. That's why y'all need to read. And God allowed them to take Africa over because Africa was busy bowing down to idols and false gods. Are y'all still on here? Can somebody comment? Because you know how YouTube be doing me. They be messing with me. Is y'all still able to comment on here? Somebody say, yeah, we here. If you don't, then I know they done stopped the comments. I'm waiting to see if somebody say, yeah, we here. Okay, all right. Because y'all know how they be doing me. They be doing me bad, man. Man, I done lost 700-800 subscribers. Wow. And y'all keep subscribing back and y'all keep getting unsubscribed. It is what it is. What can you do? You know, just put it in God's hand. That thing that happened to me last week, God told me put it in his hands. He told me don't even do nothing. He told me don't even bother. He gonna take care of it. So I put it in his hands. So all I could do is just come on here and keep preaching and giving y'all the word, giving y'all truth. It is what it is. It's a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual battle because the enemy don't want you to tell that truth. He just don't want you to tell that truth. He trying to shut you down. And I told y'all years ago he was going to do this. The enemy trying to shut the prophet's mouth. You know there was a time in the Bible for 400 years the prophets did not speak. I prayed to God. I said, God, don't let that happen again. I said, Lord, don't shut the prophets down. The people need to hear from the prophets. I said, Daddy, do not let the enemy shut the prophets' mouth. Let them shut the false prophets. Don't let them shut the real prophets. Y'all need to be praying that. God, don't let the enemy, don't you, Daddy, shut the real prophets' mouths down. Don't shut them down, Daddy, because we need the prophets. And during that 400 years, and they wasn't hearing prophets, you sort of stuff that the Israel went through in the 400 years because they had no prophet. What? We need prophets. So pray, be like, Lord, have mercy. Don't shut the prophet's mouth. Don't let the enemy shut the prophet's mouth. Don't stop the seers from seeing. Don't let the regulatory hearers of you stop hearing. Because we need the prophets. Please pray that. We need the prophets. But the Lord took away the strength and the standards of Africa because they were, bowing down to false gods and coming into other religions and being very fetish, right? And it was maybe only 7 true tribes left over there, but it wasn't enough for God. So he allowed the Coconoids to come over there and get them and take over, and they became a country under siege. You see how America could go over there and demand things of them, and they don't want to do it. So America, all right, you're going to get sanctions. You're going to get sanctions. And Africa, like, we don't need you. And if any of you Africans is listening, and you could get a hold to your leaders, tell them to use all that gold they got over there. All you need is gold to back your money. That's all. Tell them to use some of that gold over there to back their money. It's not financial advice. It's the truth. Yeah, we need profit, right? See, America, let me tell you something about America. That's why we only got 6.5 years left. So I'm going to tell you something. Because God showed me, if war comes to our land, half is going to be under siege. Half of America is going to be under siege. It's the West. And the East and other parts over by the East, those are the ones that won't be under siege. It's going to be 2 kings, a bad one and a good one. Okay, and even though you're going to be on the good side, things are still going to change. There's going to be restrictions, but the other side is going to be in war constantly. And if you can't make it over to the good side, and if you ain't there already, Lord help you. Pray. You better be praying, God, if this war comes, let me be on the good side. Apostle talking about that you told her. Let me be on the good side. Let me be on the good side. And then God told me this is the total opposite. Everybody think you should run to the south. And everybody think, up there in the east where I'm from, and what is it, the north, is going to be the bad part. Daddy said the enemy always works in the opposite, and that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I was like, you right, Daddy. You right, right? And then he told me there were going to be Goshen cities, like way out, where the enemy not even going to bother you. He said people going to be setting up living spaces in the mountains, in the desert. He's going to help people set up, and I don't care if the enemy hear this, because the enemy already know this. Because it's in the Bible. He's going to set up places in places that no man can habitate right now, that no man can live but animals. He's going to make these places where we can live, where water is, where we can eat, even if it's just vegetables, where we can eat. He's going to do it, and this is biblical. It's in the Bible. So you better be praying, God, if this war, come in 6.5 years, please put me on a part that's, even though it's going to be restricted and stuff, please put me over there, Father. And when it really comes down to the forest, right, God, I don't mind being in the desert. I don't mind being up by the mountains, because I know you're going to protect us from the animals. And I know you're going to let water come out of the rock like you did in Moses. And you're going to give us manna to eat. You're going to take care of us. I know this. So, Daddy, if I got to go in the wilderness, if I got to go in the doggone desert, if I got to live in a mountain, so be it. As long as I'm away from the enemy. If it happens in my time. You know what I mean? Y'all better start praying right now. They'll build, what? Really? And guess what? I could tell him this. He said, yeah. The underground bunkers the rich people was building? And doesn't the Bible say that the wicked will ask the mountain and rocks to fall on them because they don't want what God got for them? Okay. So a lot of these rich people building these bunkers, they gonna be ours. Yes, you don't believe me? Pray and ask your daddy. They gonna be ours. Yeah, because daddy gonna get them. He gonna get them. I said, Daddy, they really think they can hide from you 50 feet under, 100,000 feet under? He said, what the Bible said? I said, the Bible says that they gonna ask the rocks and the stones to fall on them because they don't want your punishment. He said, yes. So let them keep on building them bunkers. They gonna be ours. Or whoever's here, they gonna be ours. Because they full of food, full of this and full of that. They're going to be ours. You watch. Out there in the desert. They got them under the doggone desert. They got them in mountains, guys. Building them in mountains. They got them. And Daddy said they're going to be ours. Ours. The wicked wealth transferred to the righteous. Even in end days. It may not be ours because we may not be here. But it may be our children's kids. You know what I mean? I had a dream a couple of nights ago. I saw mountains with a city with the mountains. The mountains had huge. Yup. See? She had a dream about it. She had a dream about it. And somebody said they building stuff now. And Daddy don't care if the enemy know, because the enemy already know this stuff is going to happen. He just don't want us to know it's going to happen. He don't want us to figure out what the Bible says. But the Bible says they're going to ask the stones and mountains to fall on them. Because they don't want... Now, can you imagine talking to a mountain and a stone and say, here, come here, get me. Rebuke that. Can you imagine? That's the worst kind of death. But they so afraid of what God going to do to them is probably 100x worse. So they'd rather the mountains and the rocks fall on them. Ain't that something? Daddy is I love my father. I just love Daddy. Don't y'all just love Daddy? He's so powerful. He's so powerful, they want rocks and mountains to fall on their butt. I love my daddy. Don't play with Daddy. And don't play with his babies. Don't play with his jewels. I love my daddy. I done seen my daddy jack some people up for me. And I'm not happy about it. So I wanted to, say that so. I done seen God make people impoverished because of how they came against me. I done seen it. I done seen him make people sick because of me, right? And I was not happy because the Bible says we are not to gloat. But It showed me, and I even pray for mercy for my enemies. But it showed me how powerful he is, and how when you mess with his babies, he may give you a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7, but he gonna yank that rug right from under you if you don't stop messing with his babies. Because he don't got a lot of them right now. Although it's 2.5 billion, who knows how many of them is really, truly of the Lord and working out in the harvest. The harvest is right, but we don't have that much workers. So you need to start praying, guys, that God give us more workers in the harvest. Because you don't want to wear out the workers that's in the harvest, then they'll be no good. So y'all got to start praying, God, please raise up some people to be workers in the harvest, Daddy. Please, Daddy. Take them out of the bottom of the barrel, Daddy, and raise them up. Yes, I read the scripture. Yeah, raise them up, Daddy. We guys, we got to start praying for God to build an army to help us. I mean, he got an army, but we need a big one. Because you see how many people killing themselves? You see how many people killing each other? What's his name? He made the Christ movie. What's his name? Y'all know his name. That famous man. He made the Christ movie. What was his name? That Christ movie was the best Christ movie ever. It made me cry. What's his name, y'all? Y'all know, who know his name? I'm about to tell y'all something about him, but I need to remember his name. How many remember the person who made the movie The Christ? Mel Gibson. Okay. And when he made that movie, they shunned him so bad. He had a hard time in life. He lost his wife and everything. She divorced him. Now, guess what? Now he about to come out with a part 4 movie about the trafficking industry. Do you know they make 34 billion, not million, billion from trafficking women, men, children, babies? What? And do you know in Tennessee, in the past month, 30 children missing, and they don't even have pictures of them? And most of them were black. Daddy told me where they're going, but I can't say it on here. I might could say it on Facebook next week. I mean, one day this week. But I can't say it on here. But where they going, you be shocked. Then, the commercial I was watching, it was on, what was it? It was on one of them cable channels, History Channel. Then the guy, because they were showing like a trailer. Then the guy, and I started praying immediately because I learned it 2 weeks ago. The guy said that they have over 2 million children underground, hidden in the walls, where no one can ever find them. Do you know, I started praying. I was like, God, you the only one could go underground and get in the walls and get them babies out. I was like, even if they never make it back to their parents, let them make it back somewhere safe. Because can't nobody go underground and get babies and children that's in the wall. And then the guy was like, you can't even hear them. You can't even detect them. And the things he said that they do to these children, oh my goodness, it was... So I just went into prayer, and I was like, God, you're the only one that could get these 2 million or more babies out of these underground, deep, thousands of feet. Can you imagine a child thousands of feet down, stuck between a wall in darkness? Many of them don't even know how to pray because many of them, the parents didn't even teach them. Stuck in a wall, knowing what's going to happen to them because they see what happened to other children. And then the Lord told me not all the children are sacrificed or eaten or killed or used for sex. A lot of them are used for sex. He said some of them is used for snuff movies. And I'm not going to tell you what that is because we on YouTube. Just look it up. And when you do, your skin going to curl, right? And then he said some are used as slavery, to cook and clean. Little 6-7-year-old girls cooking and cleaning. And then he said, as they're doing that, the owner rapes them constantly. He even showed me in the spirit that some of these children, the girls, get pregnant and they make them have abortions, and some of them die from the abortions. What? I didn't know this stuff was, that it was that bad. He showed me in the spirit. I was crying as I came out. I was crying. After I watched that little trailer, all of that came about. Because I started praying. I was like, Lord, I said, can I share with the people so that they can pray? And he said, yes. So pray for all the children all over the world that's missing and that's still alive, that's thousands or hundreds of feet under the ground, hitting the walls. And also pray for the children that are already in, that are still alive, that are in these homes and going through these terrible things, or in these children brothels being raped 5 and 6 times a day because somebody's paying them to do that. And pray for women, because with the women, what they do is they take them to another state. They keep moving them from state to state to state. So the woman can, and the boy, because they take boys too for the men that are in that lifestyle, right? And they move them from state to state to confuse them, right? They give them no money and they feed them twice a day. They make them go out on the street with all they behind hanging out. Sometimes see-through stuff where you can see their vajayjay. And sometimes they make them go out with nothing on and the breast is all out. And they have to stand on the corner or wherever they taking them. Sometimes they take them to strip bars. A lot of these strippers are sometimes not stripping on their own. It's because the owner is involved in the trafficking, right? And they make them so scared and so fearful they can't open their mouth, they can't talk, because they threaten to kill their families, because they tell them they know where their family is. So they having them stripping, they having them prostituting, and all kinds of stuff. It's terrible. And then their pimps raping them, and then on top of that, they forcing them to have sex with 2 and 3 and 4 men in a day. It is horrible. And then some of them, the traffickers, put them on cocaine, drugs, shoot them up, and get them dependent on these drugs. And then what they do is they start prostituting for drugs. They don't even care about food at this point. They prostitute for drugs. And then when they get pregnant, they make them go have abortions, or they'll beat the child out of them. This is what I learned watching stuff and talking to Daddy about it. And I had no idea that it was this bad, and that they make $34 billion a year. God told me some parents will never find their children. Some parents will never see their children. Some parents don't even know the child has died. And in a lot of places that help these trafficking people and children wind up in other safe havens in other countries, never knowing how to find their way back, especially if they're babies, little children. The adults, they forget after a while, their memory is gone, and they can't even put 2 and 2 together because they've been so beaten and so traumatized. Even the Lord told me, like, okay, when a person has like bipolar or mental disease, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to put this thing around their head, and it would bring electricity in their head, but it would supposedly help them to be sane, but it would take away their memories. Daddy said that's what they do to a lot of the women and young men that they're taking to prostitute. They're putting these things around their head, and it's causing them to be like a zombie, like to be controlled, to do what they need them to do, but it's wiping the memory away as well. So if they do happen to get saved, they can't always remember parents, where they come from. I'm like, what? This is terrible. Daddy told me that. I said, this is terrible. So I asked him, could I share with the people? So I'm sharing it. So you guys need to pray. Don't be afraid. God has you. You guys need to pray about all of these things I just told you. Pray for these children, babies, these adults, and they taking boys too for these nasty men fetishes. They're eating babies. They're ritualizing and eating them. Then you got the Gargorians. What's them, Daddy? Gargorians, grackles, lizards, and serpents. They can look like us, but behind closed door, they're another species totally. And he told me that Gargorians and the ones that look like a gecko and the lizards are the ones that's digesting them. They need them as food to help them to survive. Oh my gosh. When he told me that, it turned my whole stomach. And I know some people like, Apostle off her rocker. No, I ain't. These things exist. They exist and they're on this planet. And they're involved in this trafficking. And they are doing terrible things to children. It's not just humans doing it. It's things that we ain't never seen with our own eyes before doing it. The Lord gave me a dream. He does too. A little girl on a stone altar. Daddy showed me a dream. Yeah. And even though he knows that this stuff disgusts you, it can turn your stomach, he has to show us this stuff so we can pray, because prayer is powerful. And when you fast, include these type of prayers in your thing. And guess what? God will make sure none of your children, grandchildren, nieces and nephews, little cousins and so forth, or big cousins won't wind up like that. Even though they're sinning, they won't wind up like that, because you're praying in the spiritual realm and protecting children all over the place that you don't even know. And I'll be praying for my neighbors. I'll be praying for all kinds of people, kids, you know. Because sometimes they kids be outside and the parents don't even be there. I'll be praying, Daddy, don't let nobody. Me and Pat came past a little girl the other day. I was like, God, don't let nobody snatch her. Let the mother come out and get her. One little girl down here 2 years ago went to take the garbage out, 11 years old. She never returned. You don't let your kids take the garbage out. You go out there with them if you want to teach them something. When they playing, take your little lazy behind out there with them, and don't be all into your cell phone. And then you look up, they gone. You know, just put them in the backyard and watch them. One lady lost all 3 of her kids last week down here in Decatur. She always let them go to this park, right? Playing. You know, they've been missing for 2 weeks, all 3 of them. All 3 of them. Somebody was watching them children, knowing they come there every week. Now, another little girl almost got snatched before school stopped. She was sitting at the intersection where the bus come. But it's very secluded. The man tried to snatch her. She learned how to fight. She bit him, and she got away. And they found the man. Imagine if she didn't know how to fight and bit him. He'd have took her. You know, and I know some parents got to work, and they can't pick their kids up. But you got to pray. If you ain't got nobody to pick them up, you got to pray. You got to pray that God, that let the angels escort them home every day. And also be with them on the bus so they won't get bullied and beat up. You got to pray. So I'll be praying that stuff for kids I don't even know, because God told me there are many children out here that nobody's praying for because their parents don't even know how to pray. And then he told me to pray about women getting involved with men and not knowing them, and then they raping the children, wind up killing them and killing the children. Man, it's a lot of stuff that I be praying for, and it's a lot of stuff that y'all should be praying for. I mean, when you sit down and pray with God, don't be rushing. You'll sit there and watch TV for 2 hours. You'll sit on that cell phone for 2 hours. You be at work 8 hours. I know you be like, well, Apostle, I'll be tired. I bet, boo. Ask Daddy to give you some energy. I wouldn't care if it was 30 minutes or an hour. Pray. Don't be in a hurry to get out of prayer. If you're hungry, eat first, then go in prayer. It's a terrible thing to go in prayer and you hungry. You going to be fighting the whole time. Because the devil going to be sending you all kinds of food. You be like, one time I was praying. I prayed to God. I think it was like for an hour. And I normally don't be really hungry in the morning. I can pray and I'll be good. I just have something to drink. And I was praying I was like, God. I said, Daddy, can you excuse me? I'm hungry. I said, I can't pray no more. I'm hungry. He said, go and eat and come back. So I went and ate and came back. And I was able to stay with him even longer because my belly was full. So sometimes you just got to be like, Daddy, can I go eat? Or sometimes he'll say, go and drink your son. And I go and drink my lemon juice. He'll say, go and drink your son and come back. And I go and drink my lemon juice or my cabbage juice or something like that. And then I'm good and I come back. Pray for being a type of son of Joseph during these times and periodically keeping myself. Yeah, that's a good prayer. Pray you be a Joseph. Even if God don't make you a Joseph, he can make you a Moses or Elisha or Elijah or Amos. You know, because one thing about God, if he don't give you what you want, he's going to give you something just as good. Okay? My our good Lord Jesus continue blessing you and protect you powerful. In his name you cover. Amen. Thank you, Judge. Apostle, they have this in called Promise Neitherland. They use the women to breed children and feed them to demons. Really? Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Wow, Shauna. That's just like in slavery days. They had breeding camps and breeding grounds for the black slave women. And they would make the black slave men, even if the black slave woman was married, they would make other black slave men come in and rape them so they could get pregnant. And they would still be working in terrible conditions. And a lot of the babies were stillborn, and a lot of them miscarried, and a lot of the women even died. But they would make them make these babies so they could sell the babies and make them slaves. Then they would make the black men turn against each other because they would promise them whoever could impregnate the most of the black slaves would be rewarded. So the black men started fighting against each other. So then the black women started getting bitter toward the black man because he was coming in there raping her. So then the black man started disrespecting the black woman because the white man was telling them, I'm going to give you rewards if you pregnate more people than him. And I said, Daddy, that's a curse. And he said, you're absolutely right. So I started breaking that curse. So y'all need to do that too. This is why black people don't get along. This is why. And then the black women started getting bitter toward each other. Right? So this is why it comes from slavery. This is why black men have always been against us, and more so in this day, and they prefer other women than us. And this is also why the black woman is so bitter toward the black man. And this is why the black women are so jealous and bitter toward each other, because it's a curse. It started with slavery. If you read these slavery books like I have, or you watch these documentaries like I do, you will learn this, honey. You will learn this. The white masters used to put these people in slave camps, impregnate them themselves, sell their own children, and make the men impregnate them, make the men fight, go against each other because they wanted the reward, make the black woman bitter toward the black man, and then the black husband didn't want nothing to do with her because she done been raped so many times. I was like, Daddy, that's terrible. I remember found out her daughter was murdered by her boyfriend in front of her child. What? Last week? Oh my gosh. I pray that God be with her in her grieving. Lord, pray you heal her in Yeshua's name. Black men and women got beef with him. Yeah, it comes from slavery days. Those are curses. And then, okay, another curse in the black brown race. Black brown race has a habit of having children and not seeing them for years. Child grow up and y'all have a disagreement and y'all don't see the children for years. Or you don't get along with your children. Or you can't stand your children. Or your child might start messing with your husband if it's the stepdaddy. What else they do? Mothers kill their children. And I mean, they do that in every nationality, but it happens a lot in the black and brown community. And that's a curse, because in the slave pregnating camps, the babies were snatched away from them and they never saw the children again. Even some of the children they had with their husbands, were snatched away and sold. That's another curse. I was like, Daddy, I can't believe you showing me this stuff. And then I was just figuring it out left and right. I was like, so I started like removing the curses, and I'm like, Daddy, I got to share this because other sisters and brothers have to pray too. I mean, I know the Bible says it take one child to save a nation, but Daddy, we need a couple of more children. So I'm letting y'all know so y'all can pray and cancel these curses out of your bloodlines as well, and ask God to help others that don't know this be canceled out of their bloodline, or at least let them learn this so they can sorry y'all, so that they can break these curses off the black and brown people. Yeah, in Africa, anybody that got this color, African, Jamaican, it's all the same. It's all the same, right? And so then the Lord, he was telling me, he was like, Rosalind, he was like, how did black and brown people get in Jamaica, San Juan, San Jose. What's the other places he told? Quebec, Trinidad. And I was like, because we was already here. And then he was like, if they brought everybody, now they did bring some people here, but he was like, if they brought all of my people from Africa, wouldn't have 50% died because of the rough seas and the conditions? I was like, yeah, you're right. 50% would have died. I said, so that makes no sense. Why would they even risk bringing 2 and 3 million people on ships and they know 50% would die? And then he said the white masters put themselves at risk. I said, how? He said, because some of them that was brought here had diseases that there was no cure for. And the white masters, some of them died on the ship because they had to mingle with them to go and feed them slop and water once a day. I was like, whoa. I said, Daddy, you right. Why would they bring that many people? They brought some, but not as many as they teach you in the history books, because half of them, 75% of them, wouldn't have never made it. He said that's why we spread out everywhere, because we was already here. We was already here. Already here. Even Christopher Columbus in his book, and I have it, admitted, he said they black people. That's why they call it black. Because he didn't say dark people. He said black. And do you know, I try not to call people black people, but it slips out. So I'm going to just start saying Nubian people. Because that's what we really are. The word black means deaf. It means deaf. So I wouldn't advise anybody to call yourself black no more. Because even on the applications now, they got... If you don't fit none of those nationalities, they got other. Just check off other. Don't even check off black, African American, because black means deaf. And our race has been full of deaf. Our inheritance is kind of dead to us until we get right. You know, a lot of Nubian people are dead in the spirit realm. So, don't just take my word for it. Go to God and ask him, because he told me. I said, can I just call myself a Nubian? I said, when somebody asks me my race, I'm going to say Nubian. And then they be like, what's that? Brown people. Brown people. Oh, yeah, okay, I heard of that before. Brown people. Or they'll think you African, because you say Nubians, because they might have Nubians over there in Africa, a tribe, right? And they be like, what's Nubian? Brown people. Oh, you from Africa? No, my ancestors is. Or you could say you indigenous too, because you are indigenous. Brown people. You could say that too, but I just like Nubian. Because I'd be like, Nubian queen. They'd be like, okay, queen. Some people just be like, don't even know me. And they'd be like, hey, queen. Or like, me and Pat was in the grocery store the other day. And this is, white. I'll be like, bloody Jesus. The white lady, she just come over to me and hug me. She was like, I just love your jacket. You're so pretty. I just love your jacket. And then I just be walking down the aisle outside, and then white folks, black folks, Latino, whatever, they just be smiling at me, or they'll just come up and talk to me. Honey, I'm like, if you don't get your hands on me, and I said to myself, Pat, I tell you, as soon as I leave, I'll be like, blood of Jesus. I don't know what spirit they carrying. Really, I don't. They just come up to me, and then Daddy was like, that's because they see me and you, and they see your beauty, and they see your sweetness. So I got sweetness all over my face. So this is why people think they can just come up to me and hug me. One lady had the nerve to put her face next to me. Oh, you're so adorable. Ew. What? I'll be like, blood of Jesus. Why? I break all covenants and stone. I'll better tell you, she be laughing at me. She'll tell you, I don't be playing. Don't touch me. I don't know you. So don't touch me. If you touch me, I'm the blood of Jesus coming off of me, wiping it out. I'm breaking covenants and soul tie. For real. Because I said, God, why these people keep doing that? They're like, because they see the me in you and your beauty and your sweetness. I said, so I got sweetness all over me? He said, yeah, you do. I was like, can you hide it? He was like, no. Because he says it's needed to be seen. Because also when I break the covenants and soul ties with them and wash myself with the blood, I pray for them. I pray for their salvation. I really do. I pray for them. I pray for their families. I do. Everybody I encounter every day of the week. Even I'm sitting there watching TV. I pray for people. I be online watching stuff. I be like, Daddy, what? He cast the demon out, but he ain't fill him up with the Holy Spirit. I mean, God just made me a praying kingdom pillar. It just made me a praying kingdom pillar. I know y'all tell me all the time I glow. People be telling me that too, that I have such a glow. I'm like, that's God's golden glow. Not mine, it's God's. All right, so I gotta go. So please, guys and girls of the Lord, please pray. Everything I said, if you gotta come back and listen, please do. All right? Because I ain't saying nothing to get me in trouble. I just speaking truth and what the Lord told me. And I wasn't giving no financial advice neither. I'm just telling y'all what God said to do. And take these things to the Lord in prayer so that he can confirm these things to you. And please, and don't stop praying. Because you know how sometimes we'll pray for something for a month or two and then we just forget. Ask God to keep reminding you to pray these kind of prayers. And I mean, it's working because was it down here or somewhere else? They caught one of the biggest child porn racketeering ever. Then they turned around and caught a prostitution ring where women was being forced and they were kidnapped. And then in Atlanta last year, they found 2 houses full of 25 girls that was missing, that was being prostituted. One girl met a guy online, dated her for 2 months, said he was taking her to meet a friend, took her and left her. That's why you got to be careful with these guys online. Then another little girl down here been missing because 14 years old. Her family says she was connected to somebody online. Let me tell you something. Men and women, check your children's phone. Check it. Check it every day. Check it. And if they got apps on there that they ain't got no business having, delete it. Check it. They can't even find the girl because the man took down his profile. 14 years old. Where's a 14-year-old doing on a dating profile? Now she gone. And another one missing. White girl, 1 week, but somebody's on her social media pretending it's her. Because I asked God. I said, God, is that her? Or he said it's her captures. The ones who captured her doing it. Trying to make the people think she ran away so they wouldn't look for her. What? Please, parents, watch. If your kid is under the age of 18, 17, 6, take the phone. If they want to act a fool, pop! And dent him in the floor. And tell him, if you want to call DIFUS or whatever, here's the number. Let him take your butt. You'll be back. Take that phone. I mean, I don't condone being abusive, but if they don't want to act right, smack them. What? Psh, give me that phone. Check that phone. Check that phone. Look through their texts. Look through all their friends. Check that phone. Else your child might be missing one day. Got more oil back in $1 billion. I mean, I receive it. Rosie. Rose, I'm going to call you. I was just waiting for you and your mama to come back from your conference. I no longer wear makeup or hair dyes. All my prayers for the children will not be hindered. Love you, Apostle. Thank you for teaching. I mean, all right? So from now on, please, guys, check your kid's cell phone. Check it every day. I don't care. Check it when they sleep or demand it from them. And they have to give it to you because you paying the cell phone bill. All you got to do is threaten them. Look, either I see it or it get turned off. Or I take it, period. You know, because your kid might get missing, God forbid. So please keep up with your children. And tell all your other friends and family members that got kids under 18, start checking them cell phones. Know who they talk to. Know who they text. Let me tell you, if you under the age of 18, you have no privacy. You only have privacy when you turn 18 and you're grown. And even then, if you're still in my house at 18, I still got a right to look at your stuff because I'm feeding clothing in your butt. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have no privacy. My mother used to tell me the only time. She said, until you reach 18, you have no privacy. And you tell your children, you have no privacy. I'm paying this bill, feeding you, roof over your head. You have no privacy. Give me that phone. Period. All right, so I see y'all soon. So y'all keep me in prayer as I do you. Keep my channels and stuff in prayer. Pray for my family and my children as I pray for y'all. And pray for all of these people. And ask God to help you to continue to pray and not let you let up or forget. And remember, take your time praying with God. If you're hungry, go eat, go drink you something, then come back and pray. God don't mind, because when you praying and you hungry, you keep thinking about food, that ain't good. You know, or get up 30 minutes before you about to pray. Like what you do, you get up, you be like, God, I bless you for this day. I thank you, Father, for me and my family that see this day. I thank you for waking us up. I thank you that the moon did not get us and you won't let the sun get us. I thank you that you did not let witchcraft come upon us. You canceled it, Father. I bind up every dream and cancel every dream that I had and anybody else had about me. And I cancel all covenants and soul ties, initiation, dedication, doctoration, path, oath, oneness, covenant. And Father, I cancel all couch on the imposter and just, you know, pray for like 5 minutes and be like, God, I'm coming back. I got to go eat. I got to go drink something, because when I pray, I want to be fully focused. He'll be all right, because that's the first thing you do is thank God. Thank God. Come back and listen to that prayer. Sis, write it down, and I'll put it up on the community thing. And oh yeah, I got to put them wealth prayers up there too. And then give God that 5 minutes. If you're hungry, go eat, drink you something. If you ain't hungry, then stay there and pray. Right? All right, so I see you on one day this week. I'm going to go on my other channel because I haven't been on there in a minute. Prophetic Life Advice Show. Guys, go subscribe over there, please. I put the link in my last 2 videos. All the way at the bottom, it's going to say the second YouTube channel. And it got the link there. Go subscribe there because I want to build that channel up too. And I'm going to do church on there sometimes. And dream interpretation and prophecy and prayer. Not doing no more coaching, because all y'all want is dream interpretation, prophecy, and prayer. So I'm going to be doing that sometime and doing church over there sometime. And go join my Facebook, Rosalind Solomon, because a lot of people I couldn't talk to today because they kept coming up as guests. So send me a friend request. Just go to Rosalind Solomon on Facebook. I approved like 20 people in the last 2 days. So go there and put a friend request. So the next couple of weeks, if I go on Facebook to do church, I'm going to be teaching anyway. I'm not going to be doing too much prophecy anyway. But after a couple of weeks, I'll do it again once or twice. So you want me to be able to push your name and you come up and learn how to do it, because a lot of y'all don't even know how to do it to get on there. So learn, Google it, whatever. Okay? All right. So I'll see y'all one day this week on the other channel and maybe Facebook too. All right. So God bless everybody. Much love. Shalom.